Obito Uchiha is one of the most complex and important characters in the universe of Naruto. Initially, he is introduced as a member of the Uchiha clan and classmate of Kakashi Hatake and Rin Noara during his childhood, when he was an idealistic and optimistic ninja. Obito was one of the main members of the team, led by Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. However, during a mission, he is apparently killed by a rock that falls on him, but ends up surviving. After his death, Obito is manipulated by Madara Uchiha and begins to follow his mentor's ideals. He becomes a mysterious figure, operating in the shadows under the code name Toby. Throughout the series, it is revealed that Obito adopted a desolate philosophy, seeking to create a world without pain or suffering through a plan known as the Plan for a Perfect World, which involved using the power of the Bijou, tailed beasts, and manipulating events to achieve his goals. Obito is one of the main villains of the series, being responsible for many of the conflicts and tragedies that occur throughout the story, such as the war between ninjas, and creating many of the problems that the protagonists face. His character is marked by a profound transformation, going from a potential hero to an antagonist, and his story is one of the most tragic in history. Naruto. Pain is a universal experience. All of us, at some point in our lives, face losses, disappointments, betrayals, or difficulties that leave a deep impression on us. What differentiates each person is the way they react to this pain. Some become stronger and more compassionate, while others allow themselves to be consumed by resentment and darkness. This dynamic can be seen both in the Bible and in pop culture characters, such as Obito Uchiha from Naruto. Obito Uchiha was a young man full of dreams and hopes. He wished to become Hokage and protect those he loved. However, his life took a tragic turn when he witnessed the supposed death of Rin, the person he loved most. This crushing pain made him abandon his youthful ideals and embrace darkness, becoming one of the series' greatest villains. Driven by suffering, he believed that the world was too cruel to continue existing and that the only solution was to create an illusion where there would be no pain. Obito's trajectory reminds us of how pain can deform the soul when it is not processed correctly. Instead of learning and growing, he chose revenge and destruction, becoming the very embodiment of the pain he suffered. This path is similar to that of many biblical characters who, in their anguish, had to decide between surrendering to suffering or seeking redemption in God. A biblical example of someone who chose a different path was Joseph, son of Jacob, sold into slavery by his own brothers, unjustly accused and thrown into prison. He had every reason to become a bitter and vengeful person. However, Joseph remained faithful to God and allowed his pain to shape him for good. In the end, he became governor of Egypt and was an instrument of salvation for his family and many people. Genesis 50 verse 20. While Obito used his pain as justification to spread chaos, Jose chose to trust God and turn his pain into growth and blessing. His story teaches us that suffering can shape us for something greater, as long as we don't let ourselves be dominated by it. The greatest demonstration of transformation through pain is seen in Jesus Christ. He suffered betrayal, rejection, torture, and death on the cross, but at no point did he allow this suffering to corrupt him. On the contrary, he used his pain to bring redemption to humanity. Isaiah 53 verse 5 tells us, "But he was wounded for our transgressions, and bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed." Jesus teaches us that pain, when placed in God's hands, can become an instrument of salvation and transformation. If we surrender to him, our suffering will not be in vain, but will shape us into the image of Christ. Despite having walked a path of destruction, Obito had a moment of redemption at the end of his story. He realized the mistakes he made and chose to sacrifice himself to save those he once wanted to destroy. It reminds us that it is never too late to change. In Ezekiel 18 verse 21, God tells us, "But if a wicked man turns from all his sins and keeps all my statutes and does what is right and just, he will surely live. He will not die." Whatever pain we face, we have two choices: allow it to destroy us, as it almost happened to Obito, or use it as a tool for growth and redemption, as Joseph and Jesus did. When we give our wounds to God, He can turn our pain into testimony and our scars into signs of His grace. Pain can transform us, but it is up to us to decide what kind of person we will become. Just as Obito was consumed by suffering until he found redemption, we can also fall into wrong paths if we let bitterness dominate us. However, the Bible teaches us that pain does not have to be the end of us. It can be the beginning of a new purpose in God. If we trust Him, our pain can become a source of strength, wisdom, and love, shaping us for a greater purpose. May we choose the path of divine transformation and allow God to use our pains for something greater than ourselves.